What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. If you're listening to this video and haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't hit that notification button, please hit that button to be notified of videos when they drop on this channel. And if you like and or at least appreciate this content, please hit the like button. These are things that'll help not only my channel, but also other channels in the LDBC that you'll subscribe to make the LDBC that much stronger. Now, Russell Westbrook. Okay, I've taken a lot of shit for being a fan of his, right? Trying to take up for him. Some points people make are true. Okay, he does do some questionable things out there on the court at times. Okay, sometimes some of his shots are ill-advised. He pisses me off. Okay, but one thing I love about Russell Westbrook, and this is something nobody can take away from him, he has a passion for the game of basketball and a passion to win that few people can match. That's something you can't take away from Russell Westbrook. And I've even been going along with an argument that people have made the last, I say, 2 years. And I have been going in the direction of that argument. People have been saying to me for a while, James Harden is the better player between the two. And generally speaking, James Harden is a better shooter and better scorer, all right, overall. But I'm now beginning to reconsider that, okay? Russell Westbrook for the long. Matter of fact, let me get to the general point of this video. In tonight's 126-123 victory, okay, Russell Westbrook had a triple double, 28 points, 10 rebounds, and I believe 13 assists. All right, think that's what his stat line was. But anyway, he shot 9 of 17 from the floor, 9 of 10 from the foul line. All right. And if it was not for Russell Westbrook's performance, the Rockets would have lost big to the Pelicans tonight. And I got to give a shout out to Lonzo Ball. He played pretty well. Brandon Ingram had a great game. I think 35 points and like 10 rebounds or something like that. Okay. But Russell Westbrook played great, and he's been playing pretty good for them. And he's the only bright spot between the two because James Harden has been playing like absolute fucking trash. And I will do a video about that one. Okay. But Russell Westbrook, with his triple double tonight, surpassed Magic Johnson for second all time with most triple doubles, trailing only the great Oscar Robertson, who had 181 official triple doubles in his career. Russell has 139, Magic with 138, and I think fourth place is way behind, like Jason Kidd with 107 or something like that. All right, now, although I have said this constantly, time and time again, if we were to include blocks all the way from 1946 all the way through now, the unofficial leader is probably Wilt Chamberlain. It's not even close. Wilt probably had somewhere between, this is just an estimate by me, probably between 250 to 400 triple doubles. But we'll never know. And so there's that. But anyway, also with this game, and this is a stat made up by me because people like to make up stats, so I'm going to make up a fucking stat. Russell Westbrook with this game, not saying it's going to continue, I don't know how frequently he's going to get triple doubles this season, but right now, Russell Westbrook gets triple doubles for his career more frequently than any player in NBA history. Magic Johnson got a triple double every 6.57 games. Oscar Robertson got a triple double every 5.93 games. With this triple double, Russell Westbrook gets a triple double now, one every 5.92 games. So he gets a triple double with more frequency than anybody in the history of the NBA. And I hope this puts to rest one thing. I think the season will validate this point. I want to put something to rest. People have always said that, well, it was the OKC system which is why Russell's getting all these triple doubles. It's just a system. What I think we're going to see now, it's just Russell Westbrook. He's a once in a lifetime great basketball player. Okay? Steven Adams isn't on this team anymore. Can't sit there saying all this other crap. The guy plays with such energy and ferociousness, and he plays at a speed that maybe sometimes can be a detriment to the team. But Kenny Smith did say something I agree with, is that Russell Westbrook can help set a tone, a pace for a game. And oftentimes, more often than not, it's a plus for the team he's playing on. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. It's a farce to sit there and say that this guy is a loser and can't win. Because I've seen way too many fucking games with OKC when he won the MVP, when he was playing, right? Because he only played like 34 minutes a game that year, or something like that. When he was playing out there, the Thunder might have been up by like 9 points. He goes on the bench, and all of a sudden, the opponent goes on like a 15-1 run. Now all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, they're down by 4 or 2 or whatever. Okay, then Russell comes back in, pushes the lead back up to 8. He goes back out later on. Then the damn team the opponent goes on a 20-9 run, and they lose the goddamn game. And then people spin it like, well, Russell can't win. Now, maybe his style of play does stymie other guys. Okay, maybe his style of play does hurt other people around him. Okay, maybe he's not a prototypical point guard, and his style isn't conductive to making other players shoot well. But his impact on a game cannot be refuted or denied. That's just my position on that. Okay. Um, One thing that has to be stated though is James Harden is playing like absolute shit right now. I mean, absolute shit. You talk all this shit about MVPs and you're the best, and you know what I'm saying, you had this great individual season, and you're playing like absolute doo doo. You know? And look, I understand that we're in an era now where championships matter. Okay, winning is everything. Okay, I get it. But in sports, you've had great players throughout all the professional sports who have never won a championship. Okay, nobody really calls Randy Moss a loser. Many people tell you Randy Moss is arguably a top 2 or 3 all-time wide receiver in the history of the NFL, but nobody calls him a loser. Nobody calls Warren Moon a loser. All right. Nobody really calls John Stockton a loser. Might say with Karl Malone, but not John Stockton. Nobody calls the great Bruce Smith of the NFL a loser. No one calls Fran Tarkenton a loser. No one calls LaDainian Tomlinson a loser. No one will call the great Ernie Banks, may he rest in peace, a loser. No one will call Mike Ditka a loser. No one will call Tony Gwynn a loser. Do people call Allen Iverson a loser because they won a title? No. You know what I'm saying? Ken Griffey Jr. was not a loser. Charles Barkley is not a loser. Dan Marino is not a loser. Elgin Baylor was not a loser. Tracy McGrady is in the Hall of Fame. All right, and I question that. But you can't call him a loser. Ted Williams, the greatest hitter who ever lived. Okay, and a guy who oftentimes choked in the playoffs, but he's revered in baseball because he's the greatest hitter ever lived, and he wasn't a loser. Barry Bonds, in my opinion, the greatest offensive player in the history of Major League Baseball. Never won a World Series title. Appeared in one, you know, but he didn't win it. Barry Sanders, possibly the most gifted running back in the history of the NFL, never won a Super Bowl. And Ty Cobb, appeared in 3 World Series, never won it. Was considered the greatest player of his generation. So this thing about championships matter, they do. They are. I remember Bruce Blitz said this in a video, and it was a great analogy. Championships are like the icing on the cake. The achievements, the embodiment of your career, those are the layers of cake. The championship is the icing. Maybe Russell won't get to have that delicious flavored icing. Okay, that's the championships. But the foundation, the cake, is being created game by game, season by season. The embodiment of that cake is what he's doing right now. And that should be appreciated. So to call him a loser, I don't see it. I just don't see what everybody else is seeing from watching this guy play. He does make bad decisions at times. Okay. Um, he does make bad decisions. He does do stupid things. So did Brett Favre. Okay. All right. Fortunately, Brett Favre had a great defense around him at times, so he was able to win that one Super Bowl. But Brett Favre would have the same legacy. But you know what? You can never question the fact that Brett Favre, had that thing in his chest. Sometimes, it was feast. Most of the time it was feast. A couple times it was famine. You take the good with the bad. Sometimes Brett Favre was brilliant. Sometimes because he took chances and he was like, I'm going for it. He had that uber alpha male mentality. Sometimes it was famine. I appreciate it with Russell Westbrook. I love the way he plays. He's a baller, and I'm sorry. I just root for the guy. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. Tell me what you guys think.